right? Well, not a quiz. I haven't really written a quiz down, but I want to do a little bit of. I want to poll you a little bit. If okay,
Go ahead.
well, I've only got a couple of questions, and one of them, right, is okay. If you were to say, like, if you're going to look at the economy from when National took over in 2023, or was it 2023? It was 2023.
Last year.
Sorry, yeah. To took over from Labor to now. Do you think that they're doing a better job of managing the economy, or a worse job?
When I'm going to take you back a few months when they were first elected, which was May. I don't know. June. I don't know.
July.
It was July. It was July because it was my birthday, I think. I don't know. Anyway, I'll take you back to all those years ago, especially when that was when the Daily Divide was actually created and a lot of shitty podcast episodes was created. When that happened, I don't know if you know, when they were first elected, my opinion was, no shit. Of course they were going to be elected. Everything wasn't going great. People didn't feel great, so it didn't matter what anything meant. People didn't feel great. And anti-incumbency election, you saw that with the American election. Okay. I wasn't expecting much with National, maybe some cuts. I wasn't expecting much. Okay. When the first, I think it was like 100-day plan, the first set plan came out, I looked at it and went, yeah, it's what I expect from National junkie government. Yeah, okay. Full me, I didn't actually read fully. I wasn't fully invested in the politics of things. I have to admit, but I wasn't expecting much. But I did not expect. What I did not expect was the veracity and the heartlessness of the cuts and the dishonesty that they have gone about things when they made cuts to IREX. They've made cuts to the Dunedin Hospital, which they promised in their campaign that they would cut it. That they wouldn't, rather. They criticised Labor, in fact, for cutting a couple of hospital beds in terms of capacity in that Dunedin Hospital. They said they would increase it back. But then they decided to do the complete opposite. That was a complete kick in the balls, and that's something I did not expect. The next, I kind of expected the Māori Health Authority to be gotten rid of. I was kind of expecting that. That was kind of going to happen. I did not expect the high involvement. I didn't expect the Treaty Principles Bill to do anything. I did not expect the high involvement of the two minor parties that only have single-digit popular vote in this election, only single digits. The amount of control that they actually must have in this government is insane. The amount of times that the minor parties' associate ministers have been involved in front of the camera compared to other national ministers and national MPs has been insane. The amount of times that the conflict of interest between bigger lobby groups and companies with what's her face with the gun lobby was absolutely insane. The fact that Casey Costello has those links with Philip Morris, and it's so clear as day, and is a huge wake-up call to we need to close in our loopholes with our relationship with the lobbying group, and public service has been insane. So many things I didn't actually think was going to happen this year did, and is. And the fact that, like, look, I'll take you back further. When Luxon was running, I didn't really think much of him, but I thought he could be a John Key. He doesn't seem that he could be a John Key. He's only recently done a Q&A interview in term, and I'm watching it currently. I've stopped to do this thing, and he's he is weak. He's really, 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 really weak. And I'm not saying that in terms of propaganda. Like, it is so obvious, especially with his negotiation ability, the fact that he's not able to curtail David Seymour is not a good look. And
Well,
so
I
I
don't
think
think that's the
if I
case. I
have to,
think he's,
I think if I had to, my personal opinion, it's my opinion, shut it. If I have to really be honest here, I didn't expect this. I fully expected a John Key Liberal government, but I swear that must have died with Todd Miller. And we'll speak about that later. I don't want to be a dick about it. But it died with that Liberal wing has died because everything is neoliberalism to the max. It's insane. And now like even then, Shane Jones is talking about is talking with the gas and oil lobby about underwriting oil corporations for losses that they could occur when they're searching for gas and oil that we, the taxpayer, would take on if there was a terrible incident. And they're talking about with the gas lobby about lowering emergency funds if there was required emergency funds that gas and oil companies must have if there was a spill. The relationship between with lobbying and big companies and this government has been insane. All the while ignoring experts. I could go on. It is not what I expected here. It is full on. I mean, it's not full on austerity. I'll keep saying that it's not austerity. It's not the UK, but it's very close.
well, I think, I don't think Luxon's weak. I think to start with, Jack Tame is a terrible interviewer.
Have you watched the interview?
And I have seen bits of it, and he tries to put words in a lot of people's mouths. I think he's a complete tosser, without being a dick.
I'll quote that interview. The fact that he keeps going on talking points and isn't giving his own personal opinion about things when he's asked a question, and then he goes down a line that has no relation of that, is not a good look. Like, he keeps resetting. It's like Jack Tame's talking to a brick wall. He's not conversing.
Well,
it's insane.
I'm going to say this, as I asked you a question just now, and I actually haven't answered it yet either.
Haven't I answered it? What was the question?
The question is, do you think the economy is now better?
No.
You don't?
The forecasts are worse. Like the forecasts made in hello interview, the forecasts made by economists and experts, hello Luxon, under this government have been forecast to be worse. Their prediction to be in surplus, they keep moving it years back. Now it's 2027. It looks like that doesn't mean anything anymore, and the prediction could be way later than that. So no, it's not doing as well. Like, yeah, inflation might be down, OCR might be down, but compared to compared to every other country, we're not doing as well as they are. One of the worst, in fact.
Well, I think okay, maybe not, but I think we're doing better. We're doing better than previous. I mean,
you might quote the OCR in inflation, but on what grounds are we better?
Well, I think like inflation's a big one.
It was already forecasted to be dropping. The reason why that there was a big tail off was because the fact that we invested heavily, we kept spending under terrible economic decisions to keep unemployment low, keep people in jobs, keep people getting paid. The government paid companies, paid small businesses to then have the ability to, instead of laying off workers, to keep paying them so they can stay in jobs and not have to go into unemployment benefits, which would still cost the country.
Yeah, but the thing is, is, you know,
And
okay, you look at
sorry,
it
and
like that.
by that metric, which is why the tail off, you're seeing that you saw that happen,
Yeah,
but it was still tailing off, and it's little to do with
but
with
but the problem is if say they kept spending at the rate they were spending at, um, for all sorts, I think I think that's just going to continue bringing inflation up. The more money you spend, the more the more
right.
inflation goes up.
Yeah,
So even though it's forecast to do what it was going to do, if if they had kept and stayed the course, say the National wouldn't change a thing to do with the economic management, we'd be looking at just unbelievable amounts of inflation. The OCR would still be high as it's still, it's coming down, which is great.
4.25%.
It's awesome now. So, well, it could be better. Could always be better, but we're doing better. So I think, in
So,
my opinion, the economy is better.
but as a consequence of that, especially thousands, thousands upon thousands, I think it's like over 5% unemployment, increasing unemployment, wages kind of stagnating, layoffs bajillion. That's not a correct figure, so don't quote me on it. I'm just saying. Economics for the average person isn't great. It isn't too good. It really isn't. I mean, you could quote it. This is the same problem that the Democrats have been making. You can quote a graph, but if an independent person, and you like National got onto this really really well, you could quote a graph. Doesn't matter. If someone isn't feeling well, they'll use their vote to tell you if they're not feeling too good. It just depends if the opposition can take advantage of it. And right now, people are really, really, really feeling it. I think a big, and the thing that comes to mind really when you say that no one was saying not national Labor, the government was, as much as their flaws, especially when it comes to capital gains tax and their handling of it, as much and their handling around Three Waters, I kind of criticise to a degree, not enough for me to say fuck you Labor, but there was some things they probably could have done better. Among everything, it was an unprecedented time, especially around COVID. But no one, the government wasn't talking about let's keep spending more and more and more and more and more and more, because that wasn't happening. That really wasn't happening. And I think that's a bit disingenuous to say that we will be spending everything under
I
the
think
sun.
it was
We're going to
happening.
keep
I mean, they were
printing like it's
spending
Tanzania.
Well, I think they were doing that because they wanted to spend $30 billion on light rail. They wanted to. We were about
Look,
2 or 3 billion deep on IRX.
we've
We were,
already debated
and
this before, but the merits on investing on infrastructure in assets, on public assets, is second to none. Okay.
yes, I know, but you have to have the money to be able to do that, and we just don't. We just didn't have the money. Hence, why they had to stop a lot of the projects.
A lot of
Do
the
you
things that
understand?
a lot of the hydro dams, and a lot, especially not specifically Marsden Point, but the one, the plant next to it, I think it's the, I forgot what it produces, but the plant next to Marsden Point was created because of the Think Big projects. I'm going to make this very quick. The Think Big projects. Now that was under Muldoon, and he did heavy deficit spending. Now, thanks to those projects, we are living off of those infrastructure. There is merit to say that deficit spending does work. It just depends on what you spend on it.
Yeah, I don't think that we would be able to do that. So I think they've done the right thing in not doing it. I think they needed to cut things. I mean, I guess we probably need some of that infrastructure, but we need the money to be able to do it. It's
Okay.
like are we going to, if we don't have the money, we can't do these things. Like, okay, for example, like in Auckland, they can't even manage a bus like a bus schedule and then they want to put a big, huge light rail metro underground and say, oh, we
Yeah, if
can
you can't
manage
manage
that.
something now, then we might as well just just sell everything and just not do anything, or
Well,
just not create
but,
anything. Might as
well,
well
but
increase
what I
profits
mean
by
is
20%. It
they were
costs a
going to
lot. It
spend
costs a lot.
$30 billion and
Mm.
make a gold-plated underground light rail. That's like, well, we don't have the money at the moment, so we can't do that. And if somebody's come in, and this is what I'm sort of saying with the National Party. The National Party's come in and they've gone, hey, look, they've looked at the books and gone, it's just not there. That's why they've cut everything. They're not doing it out of spite. I think they're doing it because
Look, I have
no,
called
no,
this
no.
government from day one since IREX, meaning the spiteful government, and I think they've adapted well to that name. Everything has been, like, most things have been done. They see a Labour picture on it and go, no, don't want that. No Labour, no, don't want that.
Well, that's probably
IREX, no.
because they've done so much bad things. But is what I'm saying is they've gone and they've actually looked at the books and gone, we just don't have the money to do it.